Good morning everybody. Well, I have a few slides to drive you in our view about the smart selling, the smart retail. I will try to explain how technology can help you to sell more. So that's the basic assumption. So few minutes about Samsung, because probably you already know Samsung from a certain perspective, but it's probably important to let you know that Samsung is a wide group. We do many different things. With the insurance, we have financial services, we build the buildings, we build the ships. But the Samsung Electronics, that is probably the most famous part of the Samsung, is represented in this slide. So we do basically two main things, semiconductor and devices. Our semiconductor go into our devices, but they go also into the devices of our competitor. You probably don't know that into the Apple devices, there is a huge part of Samsung semiconductor. The market share on the final product, on the devices, is really amazing. Just to give you an idea, on the TV, we have approximately 60% market share, same into the smartphone segment. I'm telling you this because market share means volume. Just to give you an idea, in Italy there are at the moment approximately 20 million of Samsung smartphones. It's important because, thank you very much. It's important because every smartphone belongs to a person. So if we can speak to 20 million of smartphones, that means we can speak to 20 million of persons. About the television, you know, now the TV are connected to the internet. So in Italy, there are approximately 3 million of Samsung connected TV already installed and already used by the end user. So devices as an extremely powerful bridge between every company that want to make a project with Samsung and our users, our customer base. This is Samsung Italy. The turnover in 2013 is under consolidation in these days, but it's in the range of the $4 billion, and we target an additional growth of 10-15% for the 2015. We are approximately 600, and this is, in a few seconds, our view for the next years. Today, we are the company that you see on the left, so information and telecommunication and audio-video product, but we are adding on top of those products also some other new area where we are putting our attention. Most important is the healthcare. Healthcare is really a macro trend, it's a macro stream, but we will reach him through different steps. In the first phase, healthcare means really a different way to take care of our body when we are already in the good shape. But in the long run, Samsung will also have the powerful X-ray machine or ultrasound machine that you see into the hospital. We already have some of the product, but the lineup will expand. Before entering into the details of the smart selling solution, I have a short video that really summarizes what already the technology can easily make available to you. So I really invite you to launch the video. Basically, this is already available, so with our technology you can easily do this. But in the following slides, I will drive you a bit into our approach, into discovering a bit what we are preparing also for the future. So how we reach this point and how we are building the next phase. Basically, we made some consideration. The first one is this one. So the customer journey is not a straight line. It's really a wave. Because before being a customer, before entering the shop, there is already a process that you have done. You start to analyze, you start to investigate, you start to compare. Eventually, you build up a piece of the decision, and then the decision will be finalized into the shop, but you probably enter already with some idea. So the first consideration is we cannot speak with the customer only when they enter into the shop. It's too late. We have to involve them much earlier. Why smartphone, tablet, and smart TV are important? Because smartphone, tablet, and smart TV are in the hands of the users when they are doing this part of the journey, before entering into the shop. So if we use these tools to speak with the customers, we build up their opinion about our brand before they make the choice. If eventually they choose someone else, it's too late at that point, once they are entering into the shop. We have to work before that. Then into the shop with smartphone and tablet that are portable devices, customers continue to do things. They compare, they take pictures, they share with friends. There is a statistic telling that 80% of the persons that are into a shop use their smartphone. Use their smartphone to do many things, but they are using their smartphone. So putting some technology into the shop and leveraging this usage that is already in place, there are beautiful things we can do. I will show you later. But going on with the customer journey, once the purchase is done, then you have the next phase. Then there is the experience. Customers want to speak with us, again, through the smartphone, the tablet. They want to report. Eventually, they need to be supported. So again, smartphone and tablet are a powerful tool to run the second wave of the journey. Sometimes we miss to understand that there are different distances from the physical point of view, but these distances can be used from the logical perspective to make customers more close to the shop. Into the shop, there are things you can do that you cannot do when you are outside of the shop. But into the area of the shop, again, there are specific things you can do to engage and to bring people inside the shop. When customers are at home or in any case on the move, there are other things, again, you can do. So the smartphone, the tablet, and the smart TV perfectly matches this view. And sometimes someone asks me why we should use the technology, why we should put technology into the shop. On top of the fact that you can sell more, there is the basic point that with the technology you can really understand what your customers are doing inside the shop. So only because of this, it is worth to adopt some technology. For example, you know there are very simple technology that are giving you information about the pet that the customers are having inside the shop. That cost almost nothing, but provide a very reliable information. It is objective. It is an objective information. It is much more precise than the impression of the person that you have inside the store. So only because of this, it is better to have the technology, but there are many other reasons. So let's go one by one. When we speak about the retail, we try to, in order to simplify, we try to make a segmentation. Which are the area where the technology can really be helpful? The first one is extension. As I was telling, why to wait that the customer enter into the shop? Let's bring the shop in the hands of the customer through the smartphone, the tablet, and the connected TV. Then the convergence. Once the customers are into the shop, let's make their smartphone interact in the smart way with the small technology that we put into the shop. And then the third area where we focus on is the empowerment. Why not to provide to the sales people, to the sales floor man, additional tool to perform better? Additional tool, for example, to recognize the customer and to react properly. One by one. this is the concept of the smart TV, the smartphone, the tablet. It is common sense that you can have your service delivered through the smartphone, the tablet, and the smart TV. What it is probably a little bit more innovative is the fact that between television, smartphone, and tablet, we can, thanks to the technology, make a bridge in order to have a automatic synchronization between the smartphone, the tablet, and the television. Let me put it in a different way. You have the commercial advertising going on the television. At a certain point, at a precise point, on the smartphone of the user that is looking at the advertising, some additional information is invoked, and you can display whatever information you want that is consistent with the advertising that is going on the television. Which are the technologies behind the Bluetooth, the Wi-Fi, but also some audio recognition. So the microphone on the smartphone is open exactly at that time and listen what is coming on from the loudspeakers of the television. Through this, you can recognize what is coming, and you can pop up, you can display on the smartphone specific information. Making simple, you can have an advertising showing a beautiful cloth. On the other side, you can have information about the material that is used to build the cloth, or the address of the shop that is closest to the customers to go to buy the shop. Don't forget, smartphone, tablet have the GPS inside, so you can also have a space reference. What you need to do to build up this one? Almost nothing, because the smartphone, the tablet, and the connected TV, we sell into the consumer electronic channel. So with really a very simple application installed here and there, you can obtain this service that is really amazing, really involving for the end users. The other consideration is about the Windows. Into the Windows, historically, there are some material disposed as to be seen from outside. Some of the materials can be eventually replaced with digital material running on monitors, running on larger format display. But thanks to the proximity mechanism, we can recognize customers that are approaching the window. So you are walking here on the street, and at a certain point, your smartphone shows you something that is consistent with the shop, consistent with the window. But if you have an application on the smartphone, if you are registered on the application, the information you see on your smartphone is also consistent with your history. So you are a customer of the shop, you purchased already some product, and there is the notification that that day there is a special activity on the product that may be interesting for you. How we do this? Again, very simple. Bluetooth technology, the Bluetooth low energy between the monitor and the smartphone, and a simple application installed on the smartphone. There are many considerations about this approach, because in the beginning, someone tried to put the personal information, the information addressed to the individual on the larger screen. In our experience, this is wrong, because Antonio Bosio doesn't want to see his name and his details on the larger screen when everybody else can see. But if you deliver this personalized information on my smartphone, that is fine, no problem. About privacy, log files, and so on, everything is already verified, so we are not violating the privacy, and everybody can decide which is the level of input he wants to receive from the platform. Once you are almost inside the shop, you can meet a totem. A totem is simply a box containing a display plus some other technology. The difference between the horizontal display and the vertical display is that the vertical display reminds more the brochures, the paper brochure that historically have been used. So someone believes this is a more simple way to communicate with the end users. But again, technology with the proximity, with the interaction. The display of the totem typically is a touch display, so you can have a direct interaction. What I didn't mention so far, but it's important to do it now, is that the information that you display on the monitors, whatever monitor is controlled by a platform. So you can easily decide that you are the manager of the system, you can easily decide which content has to be displayed on which display. This is really important because managing a platform like this is not more complex than preparing a PowerPoint presentation. You don't need an electronic engineer with a team of 10 persons creating content. It is really simple. If you see the platform behind, you see you have the possibility to set up on the calendar base which content has to be displayed on which monitor. Very easy. Another point that in the past was a bottleneck for this implementation on the larger scale was the internet connectivity, because it's common sense to understand that it works if the monitors are connected to the internet. But internet sometimes is not available, or internet sometimes is not available with the right band. So what happens if you stream a content and there is no band? You cannot stream it. So you have pixeling, the content stops, and so on. The experience in this sense is really terrible. So Samsung developed a technology where the content is not really streamed every time. The content is cached on the monitor, because behind the monitor there is a memory that stores the content. So what the platform sends to each monitor is not the content itself, it's just a command: display this one, display that one, display the other one. During the night, overnight, when the band probably is available, you can update the content with the multimedia content on the monitor. But you see, it's a big difference. That means that during the day, you are not consuming the band of the shop. The band of the shop during the day is used to do many other things. For example, reading the credit card of the customers that is more important than running the content. But overnight, you can update the library of the content. And then another consideration is this one: why the monitor must be in the vertical position? Having a monitor in the vertical position is very nice, because of course a monitor must display information. A monitor in the vertical position is absolutely capable to display information in a visible way. But when you want to stimulate the interaction, then you create a barrier, because a vertical monitor is something that if I press, everybody in the room can see what I'm pressing. If there is a collection and I search for something, everybody will see which are the things that I'm looking for. So the idea we had here is, why not to put the monitor into the horizontal position? We made a table, we call it interactive table. Basically, it's a monitor where we put a very resistant crystal, and on top of this, a touch film, a touch interface. So you can really use the table and the monitor that is under the table to operate and to navigate. This also generates a more friendly atmosphere between the customer and the sales floor man, because it's a multi-touch solution, so both can operate and both can navigate the content into the table. In the concrete life, where we put this table into the shops, this table is more and more replacing the cash desk, because the cash desk is something really anonymous, really annoying sometimes. So having the interactive table that contains also the NFC technology, the Bluetooth technology, give you the possibility to convert a moment that is extremely annoying when the customer is paying into a moment that is delivering joy and emotions. Because it's very easy to make the table animated, in the sense that when you put a cloth on the table, you display an information, a movie, a picture that is consistent with the clothes that you are putting on the table. You can do cross-selling and upselling. I bought this jacket, I put the jacket on the table because I'm going to pay, and the table shows also the pants that are consistent with the jacket. So why not? From the technology perspective, it's really easy to do this. And then sometimes that was experimented in the past with really not brilliant result is the augmented reality. Today, the augmented reality really works very well. Through a combination of sensor, you can really understand the position of the customer and the shape also of the customer. Use the visible, use the infrared, use the ultrasound. So the image, I'm assuming you know what augmented reality is. It works like this. You see the lady in front of the mirror has pants that are red, but through the digital technology, you mount this one that is gray. And typically, you have a gesture interaction, so you can decide what to try, you can change the size of the cloth. So without physically dressing the cloth, you can have a precise idea of how these clothes will look like when you dress it. I was saying in the past it was really bulky because the clothes was not really well mounted on your body. It was really difficult from the technology perspective to recognize your shape precisely. Now, through the combination of the technology, this augmented reality works very well. So, concretely, we are doing installation of this technology into shops where you cannot have the full catalog of the clothes there or the different size. So before going to the precise clothes, you can try many. When you are sure, you can really deliver the clothes to the customer. Or eventually, if you don't have the clothes there, you can easily start a mechanism where the purchase is done and the clothes is delivered to the shop or directly at the home of the customer. And into the video that we have seen together, there was a comment about the transparent display, or in any case, the many display that we can put into the shop. Display usually are done with a rectangular shape. You know why? Because the rectangular shape, the 69 on the fourth third, is a way not to waste the material that is used to build the display. So it's really a mechanism when you cut the slice in this way, you have no waste. But from the technology perspective, you can also do square display. So we have a lineup already available of display that are really squared. Where we use this one? We use this one where we want to make something really artistic into the shop. For example, we made a wall where the walls are replaced by this one, or we made a floor, or we made a ceiling. So really there's no limit. The limit is only in the sky. And the transparent display is something that gives you the possibility to tell a story on top of the product. You put the physical product behind the display, and on the transparent display with the multimedia content, thanks to the combination between white color and dark color, the white color is transparent, the dark color is visible on the transparent display, you can really sum up the story to the physical product. On the cash register, we work hard because there is no law telling that the cash register must have that bulky shape that he usually has. We put the technology of the cash register into the tablet. Into the remaining part, we only have the small printer now and the memory that, because of the fiscal reason, we have to use to store the financial information. But all the intelligence is moved into the tablet, which is the benefit. You can move with the tablet, the sales floor man can move with the tablet into the shop freely. And the tablet is not only a way to register the purchase, it's a way to better communicate with the customer. You can have the multimedia content running there, you can search information about availability of the goods in stock and so on. When the purchase is done, you simply confirm the purchase on the tablet. But if the customer who entered the shop has the smartphone with the application on board, through this one, the sales floor man can understand that that specific customer entered the shop. This is particularly important when you have shops that have a wide surface or where you have sales people that are rolling on shift. Because even yesterday I was here and I bought 2,000 euro of clothes. The sales floor person that is available today may be not aware that yesterday I came here to buy. So when I enter, they receive me as the first time I enter. It doesn't mean we have to receive every person as really a good customer. It's up to the owner of the shop then to decide which is the way to transfer the greeting, the welcome. But having the information, it's important in any case for the sales floor man. There are two approaches. Someone, a very famous brand, is telling us, I told my sales assistant to treat every person entering into the shop as it is the first time they are entering, even though they come every day. They are very, how should I say, they're very rational. They want to avoid any kind of emotion. Some other is telling it's a good way to greet and to welcome. This is up to you, you decide, but on our side we prepare the technology that gives the sales assistant reliable information about the person that is entering. Again, the purpose is to make a cross-selling, upselling. If I am informed that that customer yesterday bought this one, today I can propose that one because it's consistent with the purchase he made yesterday. Another technology that was really not reliable in the past, but it is absolutely stable and well performing now, is the facial recognition. What does it mean? Analyzing the face with a camera, we can easily understand which is the gender of the person. It's a male, it's a female, it's a baby, it's a boy. We can recognize if that person is happy or sad. We can recognize at least with clusters, the age of the person. Knowing that he is 43 probably is really difficult, but knowing is between 40 and 45 is much easier, so this is what we can realistically do with this. Why to install such a solution? First of all, because we can track the behavior of the customers, we can understand if they are experiencing joyful situation or not, but also if you analyze data after a period, you can really have a precise idea of who entered the shop. And this eventually will help you to better understand the messages and to better adjust the messages you deliver to the customers. Concrete installations are done in many different cases. One example is that we recognize there is a kid in front of the mirror. Usually kids are a problem when the parents are checking clothes into the shop. So if there is a kid, we deliver a content that has the purpose to entertain the kid. If the kid stay there looking Topolino, the parents will be available, will be ready and in the condition to freely move into the shop. And then this is a kind of different way to look to the technology. Why to install this technology? As we said, not only to deliver a better message to the end user, not only to have a better interaction with the customers, but also to help the sales people to work better. An example is this one. Imagine a shop that opens at 9 o'clock. We can easily set up a platform where the same monitor that during the day after 9 o'clock is used to display information to the end users, before 9 o'clock is used to do something totally different. For example, the sales pitch of the sales director of the chain that is giving the motivation to the sales people into every shop. The training. Realistically, you cannot avoid having the trainers moving around the territory, but at least with this one, you can reduce the frequency where the trainers have to visit each shop. With some concrete project we made, the company who adopted this technology saved up to 50% of the cost of the trainers because reducing the frequency and reducing the number of the trainers. Then they fired the trainers. No, the trainers did something different, of course, but technology, again, must be considered, must be evaluated not only with what the technology can do for the standard implementation, but also for the side benefit we can have if we implement the technology. Okay, as a Samsung, we also have conditioners, so just in case we can really make the conditioning of your buildings. The message we deliver to our partners is basically this one. Technology into the shops, into the retail field was seen so far only as a way to reduce cost. This is only half of the view. The other half, the most important in our opinion, is technology in the connected world as it is today, our world, can really help you to increase the revenues. And the benefit in increasing the revenues is much bigger than the benefit in reducing the cost. You can reach customers before they make decision. You can reach customers that otherwise you will never reach if you don't use the technology. Okay, I hope I gave you a bit of our view.